Hi guys, Top Pops here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Funko unpopular opinions. So let's get started. But before we get into the unpopular opinions, I do want to talk about something really awesome going on the channel right now, which you guys can get for yourselves today. The Hat Pin Plug and I have actually teamed up to create another Top Pops pin. And we are so excited about this design, and it's not just any design. This is one that Noah, my editor, my brother as well, created himself. Now you guys might remember about a month ago we did create this one right here, and this was the original Top Pops pin. Now this thing sold out so quickly. Actually, you guys enjoyed it so much you crashed all of WordPress. And last time, this one was limited to 100 pieces, and way more of you guys than 100 wanted this one, so we limited it to a little bit less, but the catch is this time, there's a 1 in 5 chance for a chase. So if you guys want to see the pins right here, this is the one that is the common, and this is the chase right here. I'm so excited about these. Plus, the chase one as well, guys, has glitter. And I do want to say this is some high quality glitter. Anyways, guys, both of these are going to be going very quick. So if you guys want to get these ones, go to the link in the description down below to pick one up for yourselves today. But now, let's get into some unpopular opinions. Oh, also, before we get into this video, I do want to say this was an idea given to me by Ridley Pop Guy. So go check him out on YouTube, guys, and check out his unpopular opinions video. So the first question we have here is coming from Dan Does Some Things, and he says the exclusives can be annoying when you just want to pop but can't get it due to it being limited. I totally agree with that, especially with some of the ones that they do at conventions. Like if you're a huge fan of Funky Phantom, now you probably have to pay $150 to $200 just because it was limited to 1,000 pieces. And I'm sure there are a lot more than 1,000 Hanna-Barbera fans out there, so it totally makes sense why some people are sad about this one, but I would say it is nice to limit figures sometimes just because it makes the collecting a little bit more fun. If you're able to go to the store and pick up every single character possible, I don't think it's as good as having to like hunt and chase for them or even go to certain places to pick one up. Next question we've got here is from Spooky Peanut, and he says, I prefer the new sculpts over the old ones. I do agree with this in some respects, but then in other ways I don't agree with it, only because I like the new sculpts because they're a lot more detailed, they look better, but the original sculpts are kind of what made Funko Funko. I mean, when it comes to Pops, you think of some of the older ones, like the Yoda one versus this one here. This Yoda here is great. I love the original one. It's a very classic Funko Pop. But this Yoda here looks better. It looks more like Yoda, but both of them are still great. Alex Drumming says they're going to be like Beanie Babies, worthless in a few years. One thing I will say about this one is because I get this comment a lot about why are you collecting these because they're like Beanie Babies, they're going to be worthless. There's a very big difference when it comes to Beanie Babies and Pops. One of them being Beanie Babies is a plush, and I mean plush don't have a very long shelf life. With collectibles and stuff like this, you can put them into a case and probably keep them safe for 100 years. And I even know that they're pretty sturdy because I put one underground. I buried one in dirt for a month, and it was pretty much completely fine after. So with a Beanie Baby, it would be all old and mushy, and it wouldn't look good. But this is a very extreme example. But I will say this, Funko Pops have licenses. You know, Star Wars is something that everybody enjoys. When it comes to a bear, how many different colors could you make one? Tristan VH says they need to make more flocked and scented Funko Pops. I totally agree with that, just because the metallic ones they do all the time now, where the flocked ones, it's kind of a little bit different because they do it with certain characters. And I know for the Pokemon ones, they seem to be doing flocked a little bit too much. They've flocked almost every single character that they've come out with. And I feel like if they make a flocked Cubone, it wouldn't make sense. So it kind of depends on which character they're going to be flocking. I think it has to make sense if they're going to do a scented or a flocked one. George Liney says the eyes aren't detailed, and that's on purpose. I feel like for Funko Pops, if they had really detailed eyes, they'd look pretty weird. William W says Funko has oversaturated the market. Too many variations of the same characters and molds. I do agree with that when they do make a lot of the same characters, especially in anime. I don't know how many Gokus and Vegetas they've made, but I would love to see more side characters, maybe smaller ones that you don't see in every single episode, maybe ones that just pop up in a couple episodes here and there, because they're making a lot of the main characters probably because they sell better. But if you collect Dragon Ball Z, you're not going to want 20 different Gohans. And maybe it is good when they do make different characters from different seasons, like if they made a Vegeta from, say, Season 1 and Season 12 or whatever it is, I think that's fine. But when they make 3 different Chrome Super Saiyan Vegetas, I think it's a little much. This is a pretty interesting one here. This is coming in from Tylersaurus Rex, and he says all Pops should be mini or Funko-verse game sized. Now this I kind of agree with. I love the size of Funko Pops, and I would say this is a cool way to maybe have more Pops in your collection. Maybe they could be a little bit cheaper as well, maybe make them like $5 to $8. But I do really like the 3-inch size because if you're only gonna buy one of them, it's a good size for like a desk or maybe on your table somewhere. But if you collect a lot like I do, I think a little bit smaller would be cool, but I don't know if they'd add so much detail to them when they do have them at about a 3-inch size, it's a good way to add a lot of detail without missing out on the figure. But this really only pertains to somebody who likes to collect the figures and collect every single figure like I do. When you have 2,000 figures, it is nice to probably have them a little bit smaller, but I do really enjoy the 3-inch size. So I can see both sides to this argument where you would want smaller figures to have a larger collection in a smaller area, but I also really like the 3-inch size because it's a great size figure. And of course they do make them in the Funkoverse size, it's just you're not going to get as many of them. Okay, this is funny. So this one's coming in from Piso Cake Kellen, and they say, I don't like the bobbleheads. And then this one from Nova2401 says, specifically Funko Pops are 1,000 times better when they bobble. So this is two very opposite sides here to the same thing. The bobbleheads are a little bit tricky because they are a licensing issue, and I do know that for a fact because Funko's talked about it in the past, where I don't know which company it is. I usually just say Hasbro because they have a lot of the non-bobble figures, especially when it comes to Marvel and Star Wars. So it's just those two licenses that bobble and no other characters do. I know they did make some a long time ago where they made like bobble exclusives. That was with a lot of the Toy Story ones back in probably like 2013, 2014, and they were exclusive to Target. So I thought it was cool that they did try it out, but it seems like people really enjoy the ones that are just figures and not bobbleheads. But I mean, if you're just collecting Star Wars and you like the bobbleheads, they look pretty great. John McKellis says they should all be limited edition, no more commons. Now this is a weird one because if they did this, it would kind of be like soda figures, but I think it'd be really cool if every single figure had a little sticker that, even though it says limited edition, what if it said something like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000? And even though 20,000 sounds like a lot, I think this would be a really cool way to make it seem more limited because I don't actually know how many figures they make. Like for the child, they said that was their most sold figure ever. Could it be 100,000, 200,000, maybe even 1 million of them made? I'm not too sure, but this would be kind of an interesting way to make the characters a little bit more limited and sought after. Ray Greeny says the Pokemon line is the cutest. I totally agree with that one. I think they really do translate well into Funko Pops, especially the Pichu one and the Pikachu and Squirtle and Mewtwo. Actually, most of them look really, really great. I can't see any negatives to the sculpts on the figures. Maybe the fact that they've made 5 Pikachus now, but other than that, I'm not complaining. KCDU21 says the new Pops are never worth that much anymore. Only the old ones and conventions exclusives. Now this one I'm gonna have to disagree on just because if you go into the Funko app, you can find some ones that are pretty new and they're worth like maybe $20 to $30. And I would say if they're worth a little bit, like maybe over $15 to $20, I would say that is something that has gone up in value because they normally sell figures for $10 to $15. And a good example of this is the Hunter x Hunter line because some of those ones have gone up in value pretty high and they only came out this year. I don't remember what his name is, but this one right here for a while was like $65. JWB 2004 says all music pops should be exclusive to Hot Topic since they sell merch in my opinion. Personally, I do like this suggestion, but the thing is though, they also have FYE, which also does sell a lot of records, and I don't think Hot Topic does sell records, so I think FYE would actually be a great place to sell most of the Rocks ones, even though they do have a lot of merch over at Hot Topic of different bands and stuff like that. I think both of those would be great places to make them exclusive to. And to be honest, that's where most of the exclusives go to anyways. I'm looking here, the Notorious B.I.G. with Champagne was exclusive to there. I mean, stuff like, of course, the Rush set was exclusive to Fan Expo because they are Canadian, and the Police one was on the Funko Shop, but I mean most of them, and I would say most, these are bad examples because they're in the front here, but most of them go to Hot Topic or FYE. Libby says all of them should be sparkly. Now if you guys didn't see our video the other day, Libby actually wanted to pick up some of the Diamond Edition ones, and I think she got the Ursula one, and I do agree that a lot of the Diamond Edition figures look really great, especially when they do them with the Disney ones, and if you wanted to, you could display your Diamond Edition figure with your Diamond Edition movie. And I think that's why Funko did start the Diamond Edition line. I don't remember which one they started with, but I do have a couple of the Diamond Edition ones. One of them being the Mickey Mouse. I also have Minnie. I'm looking around here. I know I have a couple that I bought recently. I don't know. I have Coco. I have Winnie the Pooh. Some really great ones, actually. The hat pin plug. Oh, this is funny. Don't forget to pick up your pin in the description down below. But he says, some people think that things are too limited, but that's just the way it goes. Now, here's two different sides to it. Somebody earlier said that we should limit the figures more, where some people are saying that, you just kind of have to suck it up because they are too limited. And I will say this. Some of the figures, when they go to conventions, they have to be limited. Like the ones, they usually do 1 or 2 that are limited to like 1,000 pieces, 500 pieces, a smaller number that kind of give you an incentive to go to the convention. Because I feel like if they did every single convention exclusive to shared retailers, nobody would go to them. And of course not everybody goes for Funko, but I feel like a large audience wouldn't go just because there's no exclusive Pops there. And yes, they are technically conventions exclusives, but for me, I'm not going to San Diego Comic-Con. Now I know there isn't an SDCC this year, but I mean when there normally isn't an SDCC, I don't go and I can get every single exclusive I want minus that one. And usually it is a really great figure, like the Funky Phantom, the Louis Blue, the Green Sour Patch Kid. Those are all ones you had to go to the convention to pick up, and there was no other way to get them. So I would personally think that having some limited figures is always great. It makes the collecting a little bit more fun, because I have every single Sour Patch Kid except for that green one, and that is one that I've been chasing for a while, and eventually when I do get it, it's going to feel more satisfying when I complete the set. Now, Cloudier Collect says, I hate it when they have the bases, it ruins the aesthetic around them. Now, for this one, it's mostly the Star Wars ones that have those. Now, I will say you can take the bases off. Now, some of the newer ones you really can't because they are glued on, but some of the older ones you can actually just pop them right off. I've actually lost a couple bases because you can take them off, so I can totally see why they keep the bases on there. But with a couple of the figures, such as the Jango Fett one or the Luke with Yoda on his back, they have kind of bases that make sense to the character. So this one here, it's like the flames coming from his jetpack, and this one here is kind of like the green mossy area that is on Dagobah. Okay, this one's coming in from Rye the Pop Guy, and if you don't like certain lines, don't buy them. No need to make fun of them. I totally agree with this. Collect what you like, guys. And I do see a lot of people out there making fun of people for collecting certain lines, so I feel like if you enjoy the Alien Remix Pops, or if you enjoy the Fortnite ones or the My Little Pony ones, collect all of them. Don't stop just because someone told you they didn't like them. This one's coming in from Yoda Matt, and I totally agree with what he says here. Chrome is fire when it's done right. Multicolor chrome or chrome accents. This one totally makes sense because they did a chrome C-3PO a long time ago, as well as a chrome Darth Vader, and both of those ones, they left some of the paint on there. So with the C-3PO one, this one probably made the most sense because C-3PO is actually chrome in the movies. So that one there is really, really well done because you can see the wires inside, as well as his eyes and some other bits on him that are not chrome, and it totally looks better than a full chromed figure like the Thanos or the Spider-Man over here. Top Vinyls, or my mom says, I don't like it when you get the box autographed. It hides the pop inside. Now this one I kind of agree and disagree with, only because you can get the pops, you can ask actually if you're there and if they're nice enough, they'll sign the top of the box instead of the front. And personally, I like the front of the box because that way when you're displaying them, you can see the signature. But if you like to see the figure as well as have the signature, pop it in a protector and put the signature right on the top. Now these last three here are coming in from Beard of Pop, Low End Toy Collector, as well as Wasatch Pop, and they're all kind of saying the same thing here. Let's read Beard of Pops first though. Way too many produced and same molds used over and over again. Low End Toy Collector says too many variants of the same character, and Wasatch Pop says they make too many of the same characters. Dwight. I did just go grab my Dwight Pops because I want to show these off here. Now, the problem with Dwight, though, is he's a main character, so he has a lot of funny things that happen throughout the show, so it totally makes sense why they've made more characters of him. But I think they should stop making the Dwights for a little while and maybe make a Phyllis or a Creed or some smaller characters that they haven't made yet. But I want to show off the different Dwight ones that I had just to give you guys an example of how many Dwights they've made. I don't even have all of them yet. I'm still trying to get a couple of them. But here's Dwight Schrute as Hey King. Here's Dwight Schrute with a bobblehead of himself. Here's Dwight Schrute with the Princess Unicorn. Here's Dwight Schrute as an elf, as well as Dwight Schrute with the CPR doll mask on. And now guys, this is only 5 of the Dwights here, and I think altogether there might be 6 or 7 of them. I'm not too sure, but there is more than just the 5 of these. Well, anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you to everybody that sent in some unpopular opinions. And I do this sometimes on my Instagram story where I'll ask you guys a question and then we turn it into a video. So if you guys would like to go follow me on Instagram, it's at TopPopsYT, so you guys could possibly be in the next video. And again guys, don't forget to go check out the pin because it is very limited and there is a chase version, so I'm sure this thing's gonna be going quick. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want to see more from me in the future, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that. But this has been another episode of Top Pops. Popsters, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you're new around here, you should subscribe to keep up to date with the channel. I do upload every day after all. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And you can always like the video if you know, well, liked the video. And if a video every day isn't enough for you, you can always check me out on many other platforms. I do post pretty much every day over there as well. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that due to popular demand, we now have Top Pops merch. Yeah, I know. You're welcome. We have a bunch of different designs, and the shirts come in 16 different colors. That's right, 16 different colors. So there's literally a color for everyone. There's also phone cases, sweaters, and since so many of you asked, yes, we finally have wall clocks. I'll have it all linked in the description down below for you guys to check out. Anyways, that's going to do it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.